Hey everybody, it's me, Liv. So I'm coming to you with my second project here for the Trust Jolie kit. And for this one, I'm primarily going to be focusing on using the mica powders as like a watercolor base back. This was the paper that I actually had underneath my last project. I hate to, waste things. So I'm going to go ahead and create a background and just show you how super easy it is. So whenever you're using mica powder, you can use it with water and it will usually be pretty bright. I just happen to be taking some of this because I want to soak it up a little bit and then kind of kills two birds with one stone. I can also then use that fiber backing that I have on another project, which I will do another day, not today, but it just helps me color two things at the same time. So I started with the yellow. I tried to do it that pink, but it wasn't popping as much as I want. So I'm going to see if I could. So I'm just going to give up for now, and I'm moving on to trying to get some of these gilded flakes that also came in the Trust Jolie kit here down. While it's still a little bit wet and sticky is usually a one way of doing it. You can also use glue, but for me, I really just wanted to try to, get a little bit of that on there. Next, I'm going to be moving on to doing a little bit of stamping using those same stamps that you saw me use in another video. And I'm kind of just pretty much collaging here. I used a little bit of the blue color that you saw as a hint at the background. I'm going to go ahead and stamp all over here to bring a little bit more of that blue out and put in some of those orange color. These are all using Distress inks. I'm going to hit it with a little bit of the heat gun just to make sure it's all dried off. And once I know it is, I'm trimming these down to just do some ATC cards with. So I went ahead and did all that and trimmed them down. Now, one thing you're going to notice that I do here with these ATCs, and if you don't know what an ATC size is, these are like baseball card size. So they are 3.5 by 2.5 size cards. So what I did here is actually take a little bit of that pink that I was not accomplishing on getting on before and actually use it on a dry way. I put a little bit of an embossing ink on a base so that I kind of hold it as a fixant, because if you don't, the powder usually does come up a little bit. Then I'm just going to be using one of the stencils that I got from one of the old kits and creating some more texture on each of these cards. When I do this, I kind of don't really have a rhyme or reason. I kind of like to work in twos. Don't ask me why. That's just kind of the way that I've been. Sometimes I hit the threes, but I just kind of do random just to do that. I wanted to bring out just a little more of that reddish color here. So inking all the edges here on the cards so that they have that. I wanted the blue more to be a hint of blue, not the primary color. So that's why I went with more the orange and the yellows here for this one. Again, trying to dry off really quickly and hit over onto the gesso areas so that I would be able to move on to the next part of the project. Once I had that down and everything was nice and dry, I took out some of the stamps from my collection, and I'm just using some VersaClear ink. I am using the Nocturnal one because I just find that it's a super rich one, and I'm just going to go stamp throughout the card and put different images on it. So once I have that all set, I'm going to then move on to actually putting a 3D level here on them, as well as some sentiments. These are ones that are from my stash that I've had, so I just went ahead and took them out. I think this may be a Tim Holtz pad, if I remember correctly, for the sentiments. But, just using them randomly and kind of bringing that out. Once I have that set, I'm then going to go in and take some of those leftover pieces of paper that I had and stamp them in my Misty. So as you can see, again, using that VersaClear because I just love the way it works. I'm going to go ahead and stamp throughout this project 2 more images just so I can make sure I have some variety when I'm creating the layers here. Now I went ahead and stamped the extra images that I'm going to be using as a pop-up feature here on these cards with the leftover paper. I've trimmed them all out, and now I'm going to make sure I get them assembled onto the cards. Some of them I left the images exactly as they are, and other ones I took pieces of them and trimmed them even more so that I can add that layer. So as you see here, some of them I am popping up, some I'm going to be leaving flat here. I do use foam tape whenever I'm doing something like this, and then I'm going to get these all placed down and ready to go. Now that I have my images down on here, I'm going to just do a little bit of splattering because I felt like the cards could use that. So I'm splattering with some white ink, which is usually the color that I use. Also goes really well with this project. And then I felt like it was still missing something else. So I decided I was going to use a little bit of Nuvo drops in here. For some reason, the stencil that I used, the images that came out with the gesso reminded me of flowers. That's why I decided to use the pink Nuvo drops here to create this flower-like feature. And now my cards are pretty much done. Another time I will back them with some cardboard so that they are sturdier. But here is a close-up of each of these images. I'm here for the ATC cards. I just love the different variety of textures that came out. Um, and then you can see that this is actually something that's pretty quick to do and it doesn't take a long time. So I hope you guys enjoy this video. Please be sure to check out all the fantastic things that come in the Trust Jolie mixed media kits and have fun creating. Bye-bye.